So we don't need to touch politics. We don't need to touch politicians. We need to be the respite getting away from all of that.
This is Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, who is a staunch Republican and saw his photo op moment. Thus, he whimsically took a knee, even though he does not believe in the message in the slightest.
Our policy is that you stand at the anthem, toeing the line.
He is arguably the most powerful chairman in the National Football League.
I think we've passed kneeling.
Jay-Z, bar none, is in the top 5 of anybody I've ever met.
Jones saying his players must stand for the Star-Spangled Banner and will not be allowed to stay in the locker room.
And this is what he thinks of black athletes protesting.
We're going to have grace when we sit here and look at how we're going to handle it.
As the saying goes, when people show you who they are, believe them.
Jones loves and respects the national anthem so much that when it was being played before the start of practice Saturday, he left his cap on. And when he was told about the mistake he was making, he still left his cap on.
Hypocritical, of course, but Jerry Jones's antics span decades at this point. In the organization he runs and devotes his life to, trying to capture another Super Bowl that has evaded him since the Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer era, more trouble is now looming.
Presidential lawsuit after 4 members of the cheerleading team accused longtime senior vice president of public relations and communications, Richard Dalrymple, of voyeurism. It's a $2.4 million settlement. This is according to documents obtained by ESPN in investigating this 2015 incident. Dalrymple is accused of pointing his phone toward a changing room and then taking upskirt photos of Charlotte Jones Anderson, that is the daughter of Jerry Jones, who's also a team vice president. Dalrymple, who retired earlier this month, has denied both allegations. The Cowboys say they thoroughly investigated the allegations at the time and found no wrongdoing.
The man accused of voyeurism is Richard Dalrymple, the Cowboys' longtime senior VP for PR and communications. One of the cheerleaders alleged that she clearly saw him standing behind a partial wall in their locker room with his iPhone extended toward them while they were changing their clothes, according to several people with knowledge of the events and letters later sent by attorneys for the cheerleaders to the team. Dalrymple gained entry to the back door of the cheerleaders' locked dressing room by using a security key card. During the 2015 NFL Draft, Dalrymple was accused of taking an upskirt photo of Jerry Jones's daughter, Charlotte Jones Anderson. According to documents obtained by ESPN and interviews, the fan who witnessed him doing so on an NFL Draft live stream of the Cowboys' War Room signed an affidavit.
Here's the issue. They let him work for him for 6 more years after these accusations.
Correct.
And after the payment.
Yep.
And then he only resigned once ESPN started doing an investigation, right?
When Dalrymple left the Cowboys, there was no mention of his retirement, which is quite an odd absence considering he worked for Jera for, I don't know, more than 3 decades. Ironically, his retirement came several weeks after ESPN began interviewing people about the alleged incidents and just days after ESPN contacted attorneys involved in the settlement. A signed copy of the May 2016 settlement agreement obtained by ESPN includes an NDA in which the 4 women, 3 of their spouses, and Cowboys officials agreed to never speak publicly about their allegations. A former cheerleader familiar with the dressing room incident said it became known among a few fellow cheerleaders. It hurt my heart because I know how much it affected the people who were involved, the former cheerleader said. It was a very shut the book, don't talk about it. This person is going to stay in his position. They just made it go away. Jim Wilkinson, a communications consultant hired by the Cowboys, told ESPN if any wrongdoing had been found, Rich would have been terminated immediately. Everyone involved felt just terrible about this unfortunate incident. If there's no wrongdoing, what exactly do the Cowboys feel terrible about? I'm confused. Although Dalrymple denied the allegations, the women were described in the ESPN report as incredulous at his refusal to own it, with one saying they saw him with the iPhone out recording them. It was a he said, she said, and the team chose to believe Dalrymple's side of things, a source told ESPN. But 4 women swore this happened. After it became clear the Cowboys had no plans to reprimand him, the women hired an attorney. They later went into settlement negotiations with the team, keeping the incident quiet while they continued to be employed as cheerleaders. None of the women are currently employed with the team. The report shows Dalrymple's loyalty to Jerry Jones, lobbying the football writers to elect Cowboys chairman to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Upon many egregious handlings by the Cowboys, Jason Cohen, the Cowboys HR official and the team's general counsel, told the cheerleader that the team had searched Dalrymple's iPhone and hired a forensics firm to ensure no images had been deleted. The cheerleader asked Cohen whether the team looked into any personal phones Dalrymple might have had. Cohen responded that Dalrymple insisted he had only the phone he turned over to the team. A team source said Dalrymple told the team he did not own a personal phone. Could he have lied to me? Of course, Cohen told the cheerleader, according to the notes. But I said to him point blank, "Is this the phone you had yesterday?" And he said yes. Two sources said the cheerleaders and their lawyers were not told whether images from security cameras deployed all over AT&T Stadium had been consulted or might have recorded any of the incident. One said the women were angry because they felt that team officials seemed to have concluded Dalrymple had done nothing wrong before the cheerleaders were formally interviewed 8 days after the incident.